In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create this beautiful bridal crown in 3 easy steps. First, you'll learn how to make pearl and crystal clusters with a simple technique. Then I'll show you how to decorate a plain headband base. And finally, you'll learn how you can bring it all together by attaching the decorations to the base. Let's start with the first step, making the decorative clusters for the crown. You'll need 3 different sizes of them. To make them, you'll need some 24 gauge wire, 7 by 10 mm teardrop rhinestones, and 3 mm silver spacer beads. You'll also need 10, 8, 6, and 4 mm pearl beads. Here's how to make the largest cluster. Cut about 45 centimeters of wire. To begin, simply bend the wire in half to find the center. Take one of your teardrop rhinestones and thread the wire through the 2 top holes on the back, sliding it right to the middle. Then, feed each end of the wire through the bottom holes. If you'd prefer daintier decorations for your crown, you can swap the pearls and rhinestones I'm using for smaller ones. Bring the wires up. Thread the small silver spacer bead on one of the wires. Now take the other wire and put it through that very same bead in the opposite direction. Gently pull the wires until the bead sits snugly against the rhinestone. On the right-hand wire, thread on an 8 mm pearl, a spacer, a 6 mm pearl, another spacer, a 4 mm pearl, and a final spacer bead. Repeat that exact same pattern on the left-hand wire. Then bring the wire ends up. Put them through a 10 mm pearl bead. Pull everything through until there's no spaces between the beads. To lock this all in place, bring the wires together and twist them a couple of times. To add a bit more detail, bring the wires up to the center of your cluster. Slide a 6 mm pearl onto one wire. Now wrap that wire around on the right-hand side, next to the spacer bead, just below the rhinestone. And then around the top of the 6 mm pearl you just added. Do the exact same on the other side. This secures that central pearl in place. Bring the wire down next to the other one and twist them together. To make it extra secure, wrap each wire around the base of the 6mm pearl. Then wrap them tightly around opposite sides of your large 10mm pearl. For the finishing touch on this cluster, add a spacer bead followed by a 6mm pearl onto each wire. Thread both wire ends through one final spacer bead and pull tight. Now, twist the remaining wires together to create a stem about 1/2 centimeter long. And here's the first cluster. You'll need 3 of these for the crown. Now, using the same technique, we'll create the medium clusters. The only difference is, you'll start with 35 centimeters of wire and use slightly smaller number of pearls for the arches. I'll put the exact bead combination up on the screen for you. You'll need 4 of these. And finally, we'll make our 2 smallest and daintiest clusters. For these, you'll need 30 centimeters of wire. Again, the technique is the same, and I'll have the details about the bead sizes on screen. Now let's move on to the second step of the crown making, decorating the crown base. I'm using this headband base with built-in small cones at the end that help you to keep it in place when it's worn. You can totally use a base that doesn't have these on if you'd prefer. To decorate it, you'll need some 26 gauge wire, 3.5mm wide rhinestone cup chain, and 6mm pearl beads. First, measure your band and cut a length of rhinestone chain to match. Mine is just under 38.5 centimeters. We're going to be working with the wire straight from the spool without cutting it off. I used 59 pearls to decorate the band. You might need more or less, depending on how closely you position them to each other. Once all the beads are on, take one end of the wire and anchor it to the headband by wrapping it around a few times. Place the rhinestone chain onto the band and wrap the wire around the band and between the first two cups of the chain to secure it. Slide your first pearl down, leaving a tiny space above the chain, and twist the wire once or twice to hold it in place. Then, wrap the wire around the band and between the next cups. Continue this pattern all the way to the other end. Once you reach the end, secure the wire with a few tight wraps and snip off any excess. Make sure to press the end down with your chain nose pliers so there are no sharp edges. Honestly, this is beautiful enough to be worn just as it is for a more subtle look. But for our design, this is the perfect foundation for what comes next. Finally, we have reached the third and final step in this crown making, how to attach the decorations to the crown. I like to lay out all my clusters in the order I plan to attach them. Find the center of your crown and take one of the largest clusters. Position it right in the middle and use the wire ends to wrap it tightly around the headband. Snip off any excess wire and press the end down neatly. Now, take 2 of the medium-sized clusters and place them on either side. I recommend leaving space of about 5 or 6 rhinestones between each cluster if you're using the same size of chain as I am. Continue this pattern, working your way outwards, following the order we laid out. Take your time with this part, making sure each piece is secure. Here's how the crown looks with all the clusters of decorations on. Once all the clusters were added, I felt it needed just one last tiny detail to help the design blend into the band. I decided to add a single teardrop rhinestone on each side, just after the clusters. And here you have it, your bridal crown. I hope this breakdown will help you create one of these yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.